What's up, everybody? Wake up with me every Wednesday. Welcome back to Wake Up with Kate. Hope you are all having a wonderful Wednesday morning so far. So glad you're tuning in to Wake Up with Kate this Wednesday morning. The first thing I want to point out is this bad boy behind me. So I wanted to get like a cool background to start going off of. You know, I have my window with my typical bedroom. You kind of get a glimpse of what my room looks like and that. But I also wanted to have like a cool professional background too. It's like a wallpaper adhesive tape. It comes in this cool little tube, and it's actually like a lot that comes in here, and this one that I got is textured, so it's very neat. Today I went to Plato's Closet in Harrisonburg. I got this bad boy, $10. It's super fuzzy, super comfy. I love it. Check them out. They always Instagram. My roommate's actually a fashion vlogger, and she posts from Plato's Closet Harrisonburg all the time. So check out hers. I will be featuring her in a few weeks to come, so you'll see behind the scenes of what it's like for her on a daily basis. But she tags them all the time, so follow her Instagram too for more fabulous finds like this. Also, so my mom's, we are the same person. If you've ever watched Gilmore Girls, if you haven't, I highly recommend. My mom and I are Lorelai and Rory. Totally. Watch the show, meet us. But my mom's like style has not changed since the 80s and 90s, and we just recently moved from the childhood house I grew up in, childhood home, whatever. Now we were going through all the clothes and all the memes, and for those of you who don't know, which none of you would, we are hoarders. And we keep everything, like even the Play-Doh I had when I was like 4. We had all of her clothes that she used to wear. And my mom was trendy. And so I went through those old Levi jeans, the shoulder pads, which you'll see on Breeze TV because I'm totally wearing that two-piece. It's baby pink. It's so cute. And it fits me like a glove. Thanks, Mom. So getting into what the real story of today is. Covering a Drake Bell concert, interviewing a celebrity, how I edit the story, how I voice the story in a whisper room, which is super cool and very profesh, and shout out to JMU Harrison Hall for having that feature. And I'm going to do all of this through screen recording, which I've never done before. I'm going to do a click through, which is super exciting for me. I'm so excited to share this story with all of you. So let's get zooming into the screen recorded. Woo! Let's get rolling on how you start a project in Final Cut. First, you go under File, and then you hit New Project, and check everything to make sure it's in the right format, and it should just come up in what you need. And then you'll just hit Create, and it'll create what you call a project folder. From there, you'll go to Import, and go to All Clips, and it will be an SD card inserted into the computer or laptop that you're using, and you'll pull it all off that, and you'll import them in. So the next thing that you need to do is pull up your script or anything that you're going off of. So I use scripts for news stories so I can follow along in the order of the story that's going to be presented. So I like to use Google Drive. The way I create news pieces and news packages, which is a story, a longer form story with multiple interviews, I take it piece by piece. And then I look through my video. You'll notice that in this video, they're already pre-portioned, so there's like yellow clips. I am showing you guys a second version of the story that's already been created because this aired on Friday of last week, so I am creating a new one for you guys to see. So what you do is you hit I to start where you want to cut it and O for where you want to end it. There, you'll drag it onto your sequence, which you'll see is what I'm creating here. And then I'll go back to the script and continue the process and doing it over and over again. So I'm going back to what I think the script would fit best. And in this script, I'm talking about the fans that he's impacting. So I am looking for a fan that looks energetic, but also someone that will be covered later in the story. That the girl that I've chosen for this second clip is actually the interviewee that I have for the next piece, the next interview. Or I like to do that when I'm
doing video for stories because I like to think about putting the pieces together. And that's basically what putting a news story together is you're fitting the pieces. So now I am going to find the clip where I have the interview and I start cutting based off of what the script says. You just go off to what the next portion of the track says. So the difference between a track and a SOT. A track is what you as a reporter will be saying. A SOT is your interview. So I'll continue to do this. This video will get a little faster because it's just the same thing over and over and over again, and there's no need to do it again and again and again. Something super important to covering a story in Final Cut is making sure your audio is dual mono. And you see that it says stereo. It won't export for Breeze TV, but I mean, maybe it will in other formats, I'm not sure, but you should always have your videos in dual mono so that way it's clear. The next important part to creating your news story is adding your voice to your tracks. So you'll see here that I'm basically going back through and putting that in the slot where I selected B-roll. Clips are a little larger, so then you just fit the video based off of what is coming next. And then if the video is too large, then you'll try to fit and track it to match as best as possible. Alright guys, so this is the lovely Harrison Hall Whisper Room. This is all the equipment that you use to set up your voicing and get your recording actually recorded, obviously. And then they have this cool second monitor to pull up 2 screens at one time. This bad boy is where the magic actually happens. There I am, hello. This is where you go in, and it's like actually a little mini whisper room. There's a cool light and all these, I don't really know what they're called, but I guess like foam to make sure the sound's not echoing. A actual professional mic stand. Wow. And then this little black box where you just do your thing. Headphones. Here is the switch pad where you go on and make sure that everything is the proper tones that you want and the numbers that you want, because if you do one thing wrong, your audio will not record and send out. You can either download your audio file to the desktop, or they have this little contraption here where you can insert it. But let's get recording.
So guys, we're back. We're in the whisper room, and I'm going to show you guys how I do my tracking. So basically when I come in this room, it's already recording, and all I do is grab my mic. It's on red. I'll show you guys too. So it's on red. And then I have on my phone here my script. So I just go through and I read it based off how I want the audio to come off and what I want to articulate and what I want to emphasize. So you'll see that now. Track 1. Bell fans were so excited to have Drake Bell in the Berg that Golden Pony added a second show. Both selling out in under an hour. Emphasizing there, Drake Bell selling under an hour and a second show. Because in that one track, that's the 3 biggest parts of the track. Bell won the hearts of the fans, but that's not the only performer who stole the show. Kira Kosterin, the opening act, left the room jaw-dropped with each original song she performed. So here, I'm trying to still credit Drake Bell because he was great, but Kira Kosterin was this opening act, and she was incredible. She was performing all original songs, never played before, which obviously if you go to a concert like that, you're like, wow, because I'm hearing it first. Kosterin, who she was and what she did. Go to a SOT because I actually had the opportunity to interview her, which was my first celebrity interview. It was awesome. I never really thought that I would want to pursue entertainment. I knew that I was always interested in it, but I wanted to do local reporting, which I still do. But this is totally an option for me as well. You know, as I'm a senior in college, I'm still deciding what exactly that is I want to pursue and what I want to do. And with news, it's not just one type, and that's what I love about it. You don't have to be just one type of reporter. You can cover anything. And this story actually opened my eyes to thinking, wow, like I might want to pursue entertainment, because I was blown away with how quickly I was able to write my script. I wrote it, honestly, in under like 5 minutes because I was so excited to write it. Anytime I go into an interview, I always kind of like to do a pre-interview. So I'm getting to know her better, what she likes, what she doesn't, what they want to talk about, and kind of get them more comfortable. And right now, obviously, I have way too much headroom over here, but I would want you to stand on this side of the camera because I would want to look this way. So there's all this open space. That's just another tip of advice for any starting out reporter. I want to leave off on a positive note. I say track 5. But if you love her on the Thundermans, don't be too upset. Kosserin is still acting today. She told me that she was going to be on another show. And so that is something that you want to leave the audience with, because if they did watch her on the Thundermans, you want to say, it's not over. She's pursuing music, but she's also doing this. You want to leave your tag, which a tag is your sign-off. So usually you want to do something like, colorful. But I didn't want to take away from the story, so this one I just said, tag, reporting for Breeze TV in Harrisonburg, I'm Caitlin Merriman. So, just keeping it simple in that aspect, because there was so much going on, so many details, so just being mindful of that. But remembering when you're doing your tracking that there are some words you should emphasize more, but not overdo it. So about when you're talking to your mom. This is the advice I got from one of the incredible anchors I had the opportunity to work with over the summer. All these scripts. She's read it. And I read it, as you think you're supposed to, doing all these different inflations and doing all these different wordings. And it's like, no, tell me the story with a heart. Tell me the story like you're talking to your mom. And I was like, oh my God, my mom is my best friend. So this is going to be so easy for me. So I start reading it and she's like, do you hear the difference? And looking back now, I do, because there's so many words that I wanted to emphasize because I thought you needed it, and you don't. So when you're going back through your tracking, think, what is going to draw that person in? What is the key factor here? And what am I trying to tell? Wanting to be a reporter, you're not just saying a story, you're telling a story. People are drawing into you and people are listening to you. So here we are in the Whisper Room. I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial of how I edit my stories, how I kind of write my scripts. If you want more details on that, I'll do an entire vlog on how I go about writing the scripts and how I cut the sots. A sot is a soundbite, and I could do that totally for you too. I do this every week, so I'm so excited to continue sharing my journey with all of you, and we'll see the Whisper Room again with its beautiful, colorful lights. I'm sorry if you can't really see me in this part, but it's okay. That's what this whole learning thing's about, and if you don't rock high ponytails, you should start.
Now, here's a super fun effect that I love to use. It's called the Ken Burns effect. Basically what this is it's a zoom. I wanted to incorporate a picture of her because I didn't have any content of her from the Thundermans, but I also wanted to show her as a Thunderman. If you do have a story and you are using something off of another party, like a Google image, or you used YouTube to cite a video, you have to cite it. Photo credits, video credits, and where I got it from. I am taking the videos and you see these little dots. They're called keynote. I am taking that video and I'm adjusting the audio to where I want it to peak and where I want it to drop. And you can do that through adding the dots that you'll see there. I'm selecting the dots. You'll find it on the right side of the screen at the top. You'll select the dots and then you can adjust based off the level that you want. Another thing that's kind of cool in Final Cut is that you can adjust the lighting. As a beginner and someone who's still learning, there are lighting issues that I have sometimes, so that you do have the option to adjust the lighting to make it a little brighter or a little darker, and that's what I am essentially doing in these clips. So once you think your video is complete and you've gone over lighting, audio, sounds, your clips, everything looks in order and clean, you're finally ready to export. You go to File, Media, Master File, and then this square will come up, and in that square you'll make sure that it has these things highlighted because it's very important with the exporting file. So you'll export it, it'll take a few seconds, and then it'll magically appear on your desktop and changes that you need. The cool thing with Final Cut is that it saves and it's just there, so you can edit the project again.
I hope you all enjoyed going behind the scenes of seeing that story come to life. It was by far one of my favorite experiences being a student journalist, and I wanted to share that experience with all of you. If you do want to see the full story, you can go on Breeze TV's Facebook page, which I'll put in the comments below. Follow our page. Follow my professional Facebook page too. I'd love that. I'll put that in the comments below. There's a lot of things going in the comments below. I'm happy for you all to tune in next Wednesday. Be sure to grab your coffee and get ready to go with me.